us on Facebook at Dante A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Dante Long. Follow us on YouTube at Dante A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.
Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday as we're coming to the close of another wonderful week. And on this evening, we're so happy to have another opportunity to engage in one more long talk. What a great day it has been. Hope you've enjoyed and had a winning day. And most of all, hopefully you've had a thankful Thursday. And I'm so appreciative that you've taken the time to tune in tonight and engage with us in this long talk. As I always say, please take just a moment and follow us on the various social media platforms. If you're on Facebook, then please share this content on this evening. I really need you to do it because it's going to be most meaningful. Also, if you're on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all things Long Talk. And also, if you will, go ahead and go to Instagram so that you can continue to follow the day-to-day activities of Long Talk. And of course on Twitter, where we can continue the conversation at all times concerning the relevant content that we share here on Long Talk. All right. Well, listen, again, I'm so thankful and I'm so appreciative. Do me a favor. If you're in the comments right now, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. And I also need you to do me a favor tonight. I need you to go and get mom. Call mom. Go get mom out of the kitchen, wherever mom is. If you need to call your sister who's a mom, call her now. If you need to share it, do that as well. But I need you to get a hold of every mother that you possibly can, and as many that are expecting mothers as well, because we've got some wonderful but most meaningful and insightful information that we wish to share with ladies on this evening, particularly moms and expecting moms. So I need you to take a minute to go ahead and grab mom, bring her in, let her know that Long Talk is on the air, and we've got something very special for her tonight. Our special guest tonight is a wonderful young lady who is dedicated her life to helping women and helping families through the childbirth procedure and process, and also helping families during that procedure and past the procedure, coming into their homes and assisting them with this wonderful but most difficult time. Tonight, we are so privileged to have our dear sister with us. Tonight, Long Talk family and audience, would you please help me welcome Miss Tenisha Bibbs. Good evening. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show.
And thank you so much for taking the time to be a part. And I appreciate you coming on and talking to our audience tonight, as I know that you have some wonderful information to share. But before we get into that, Tenisha, would you just quickly tell everyone exactly who is Miss Tenisha Bibbs?
Well, thank you for that. My name is Tenisha Bibbs. I am a author, speaker. I'm also a beauty coach and a postpartum doula. I help assist some new moms and also moms, that have had babies in their home, as far as through postpartum and also baby care.
Wonderful. And I'm so thankful that you have chosen this journey in your life to assist moms, because moms are many times overlooked, ignored, have an expectancy to be able to handle all things. But as you know firsthand, most moms have very little support, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so tonight, I know that as we further this conversation, you are going to just be a wonderful resource to many women that need the resource of understanding the role that you personally play, and many like you that play in their lives through their most meaningful times. And so tonight, Tanisha, I really want to ask you this whole idea of giving birth and also just caring for children, but particularly when moms are at this hour, and we understand the pandemic that is transpiring all across the country, where hospital beds are a premium right now, and hospitals are full to capacity, but that has not stopped really the mere fact that we still are bringing wonderful new lives into the world, right? And
Yes.
so, what's new about, or what should many be looking out to see if there's any difference with perhaps giving birth and the whole childbirth experience than in times past?
Well, when it comes to the childbirth experience, first of all, I'm a postpartum doula. I rarely do births. I've done several births, but not as much as I've done postpartum, which
Okay.
is aftercare. But when it comes to the birthing part of it, it is a little scary because of COVID that is going on. The hospitals are getting mom prepared for that. And, before she would be able to have her family and her support system in the rooms, but that is no longer able to happen. She can only have maybe her husband or her mom or just one person in that room. So sometimes their anxiety levels are up, at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about giving birth now is just totally different, and I think it's so important for mom to have a birth doula at this time, even if the birth doula is able to call in or video or Skype in or something, for them to be able to help them get through that process. That extra voice is so needed and is so important, especially during that process, because mom is already on an all-time high because she doesn't even know what to expect, or if she or her baby will get COVID or whatever in the hospital. This is some of the questions
Mm-hmm.
that I get from my moms that are giving birth. So I have to literally, have them breathe through it, and I have to also give them words of encouragement to enjoy their pregnancy, enjoy their delivery, versus worried about, more so of if I'm going to get COVID, and are we going to make it through this? So,
So let me ask you this: as perhaps many moms are looking to uh, this unconventional method that you talked about with the assistance of a doula,
yeah.
I want to ask you, because I really have no frame of reference, but there may be
Hmm.
somebody or groups and families out here that are watching tonight that are
Hmm.
curious. What is a doula? How does that process work? And what they can expect differently than what traditionally happens after or during or after childbirth.
I think that's a really good question, because when it comes to traditional, whereas mom is, at the hospital, she's gone 9 months of, being with a doctor or being in a doctor facility. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it's time to deliver the baby, the doctor is on vacation, or, no disrespect to the doctors, but
Sure.
they're on vacation, or somebody that she doesn't even know actually delivers the baby. And I think it's important for her to feel comfortable with a birth doula, to be able to walk through the process, to be able to guide her and give her understanding. A part of why mom is on have an anxiety level of this new baby being born, of delivery, is because there is a lack of resources and a lack of
Mm.
information. So
Yeah.
if her doula would be able to provide these information, or research or search out that information for her to get a better understanding,
Mm-hmm.
such as when it comes to the epidemic or the pandemic, excuse me, that is going on now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do as, going into the hospital having a baby? Well, her doula
Yeah.
would have been able to educate and help provide those assistance for her, so that she can have a full understanding as far as breastfeeding, full understanding. So there's a big difference when it comes to having somebody close knit to you to be able to give those resources, versus getting, the 9 months care. And then when you're getting ready to have this baby, no one knows who you are. They don't know anything but a chart. So I think it's important to be able to build relationships with a postpartum doula or even just a birth doula. Okay, so and it's just easier when she's going through her transition as far as becoming a new mommy or having her a new baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In her care. Yeah.
Wow, wow. And tonight, I am happy that you are addressing this, but you've actually written a publication about this
Yeah.
whole process. Can you share with us a little bit about this publication?
Yes, absolutely. So tomorrow's my birthday. I was literally launching it on tomorrow, but then you kind of like gave me a head start today. So we decided to go ahead and release the book Ask a Doula. This is a book for new mommies as well as mom who've had babies and still need a little bit more information. We have written this book because we realize that this is some of the things that mom go through. She's at the hospital. She don't have the resources. She's in, if something happens to the baby, she don't know who to call and who to talk to, because a lot of times, because of the hustle and the bustle at the hospital and,
Yeah.
so much going on, there's no one to give real information. So we wanted to put together this publication to be able to help new mommies maneuver the first 6 weeks after birth and to let them know all is well. We talk about, I talk about an incident or a situation with one of my mommies that I've had where she was breastfeeding, and we found out that the baby was only what I think he was like 8 days old, and we found out that he had excessive amount of gas. And so when she went to the doctor, we found out that the baby was had allergic reaction to dairy and soy.
Okay.
So this is the purpose of why you need a postpartum doula at your home who's knowledgeable and has a lot of education and resources. Because had I not knew or was familiar with this, then he would have been still drinking. He would have had an allergic reaction, and then we wouldn't have known. And so the moment he was doing this grunting, like a grunting, making this grunting sound in the middle of the night, and she thought it was just him, and that's the baby. No, we did the test and found out that the baby had allergic reaction to the breast milk, or the soy and the dairy that was in the breast milk. So when they took him off of that milk and put him on the Tramogen, that he literally stopped the grunting. So this is the most important. This is the reason why I tell people you have to have a postpartum doula, because this is what. Now I'm not saying all of them are like this, but
Sure.
the ones who actually educate themselves, you have to have that, because these are the things that new mommies go through and they don't know. And then when the baby is, either low weight or something is going on, they don't know where it's coming from. So they can, they can kind of pinpoint that, or we're not medical doctors, okay? And we can't diagnose anything, but we can become knowledgeable of these issues that's going on.
Wow. Wow. And so you've written this publication to really assist mommies in some of these tough situations, because is it fair to believe that there's a lot of information out here that's compacted into one book that gives the resource, as you're doing with your publication, so that they can get these answers?
Yeah, I don't think that there's just one book that can give everything about how to be this new mommy. I think it could be a guide, and that's what we decided to do. We took everything that we saw. I witnessed it myself. I've been through it myself. Anybody who's a new mommy have been through it. We've taken this and we put this in this book to help them, especially with breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is one of the most important things I believe that a new mommy should be introduced to. And a lot of times she's discouraged because it either hurts or, she doesn't have a lot of knowledge on why she should. And so we definitely in the book go over COVID, how to breastfeed your baby during this pandemic, during COVID-19. We have Miss Jean Turner, who is one of my co-authors in the. She is a co-author in the book. She's
Mm-hmm.
a OB nurse for 33 years and literally gives a mommy boot camp in the book to help mommy understand about breastfeeding, what to do if your nipple is hurting, when should you go to your doctor, if you're spotting, what happens. So she gives the overview from mommy's perspective, and I give more of an overview from the mommy's perspective as far as how to deal with the baby the next 6 weeks, like swaddling. And do
Mm-hmm.
you put a pacifier? Is it necessary to use one? How do you sleep train your baby at night? When is feeding time? We give
Mm.
those questions, that we answer the questions that they're going to have, they're going to have, like what happens if the umbilical cord falls off? When do I bathe my baby after that happens? Do I bathe the baby right away? So we give those nuggets to say, this is what you do, to
Mm.
help them, guide them through the process of next 6 weeks is the most important. The next 6 weeks is the most um, important thing as far as for new mommies to kind of get a hold on, because not only are they going to be worried about making sure that the baby not decrease in weight but increase in weight, but if the baby
Mm.
have jaundice, what do they do if that baby have jaundice? Do they, a lot of scare tactics? Oh, if your baby do this, if your baby do that. So my job literally is to calm her down so she won't walk through postpartum depression, and help her go through that process to knowing that she is a mommy who can win, and she got this the next 6 weeks. Okay.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching this on this evening or whenever you tune into this, I think that it would be very meaningful, and I think it'll be a great resource tool for you to pick up a copy of Tanisha's newest release, Ask a Doula. And the information is on your screen that you can go to the website, which is Ask a Doula Now. Pick up a copy of this, and it's an easy read that you can have a resource to help you navigate. Many times, this is
Right.
most women's first child, or this is their first time walking through it with no help, no assistance. And I believe that Tanisha's publication will certainly be a wonderful guide to help mommies all over go through this very meaningful process with assistance and help. All right? Pick up that copy. Tanisha, I want to ask you this as well. Why is a doula, in your opinion, necessary when dealing with, as you said earlier, postpartum?
You know, I think we underestimate postpartum depression, but it's a
Mm,
real thing, and I think because when we're so focused on, oh, there's a new bundle of joy and he or she is so beautiful, and we're worried about putting name brand shoes on the babies, and photo shoots and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, what we don't see is the fact that mom is having anxieties. She's having
mm,
stressful moments, especially if she's a single mother and the dad's not there. Or what I'm saying? And she gets through this moment that she will have a nervous breakdown.
mm,
And I think that's the moment when a postpartum doula who is skilled, who is knowledgeable, who has compassion, and who is sensitive and can know that mom is going through something, to be able to walk her through that. I know that's one of the things that we talk about in the book. I think the first part of the book, we talk about postpartum depression, and we talk
mm.
about how to, like, minimize that postpartum depression. Do you know if you have a postpartum depression? I think we're walking through like different checklists on to know if you're going through that, and when to reach out to your doctor, or when to reach out to your counselor or psychologist or whatever, or psychiatrist or whatever that you need the help in, so that you don't have a nervous breakdown. Because when you're having this, although the baby's beautiful and you excited, and that's your lifeline, you still want to make sure that you're connected. We talked about, and this is one thing I can share, I talked about, sometimes when mom like go off, if
Mm-hmm.
you notice, sometimes she'll go off, she won't some moms won't want to hold the baby. That's
Yeah.
that could be a sign. Some moms may want to be overly. They don't want anybody. Now we think it's like, okay, no, she's protective of her baby, but sometimes she's overly. She doesn't even want dad to touch the baby. That
Yeah.
can also be a trigger for postpartum depression. These are some of the things we have to look for. She could be locked in a room and just want the windows locked and closed. Postpartum, excessively crying. You know what I mean? Like out of nowhere, she's just excessively crying. And that's the moment when you need a skilled, again, postpartum doula in the home to be able to comfort her. And I mean, I've dealt with it a
Mm.
lot, so I know, what it looks like.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad you're sharing this information because there are so many men out there like myself uh, who, if we have seen women going through postpartum, we thought it
Hmm.
was just having a bad day or just a bad attitude. But you're really helping us even with this interview to know that these are signs that we need to be aware of because it could actually be postpartum.
And I'm
Tanisha,
glad you Well, I'm glad you said that because a part of the book we have for dad too. So we have a part where dad have a role and he plays a role. So basically we break down and say, okay, from mommy's perspective, to allow dad to have some of those roles, to allow dad for mom to have some downtime, sleep time, to minimize postpartum depression. Because a
hmm
lot of times when the baby comes home, baby is predominantly with mommy,
yeah,
but not as much with dad. So we want dad to equally get involved. He may not can breastfeed and may not, but he can feed the baby. She can pump and he can give daddy the bottle. Dad could take a couple of hours so mom can sleep. Will learn how to swaddle just like mommy learns how to swaddle. Dad needs to learn how to bathe the baby and change the poopy diaper. I know we are living in a world where men don't want to change no poo poo diaper, but you know what? It's important that they change a poo poo diaper because sometimes at that moment, mom could be going through something and she's like, okay, I'll change the diaper, but I just need a moment. So dad need to get a skill. So we talk about that in the book, and we talk about allowing mom to let dad do it because sometimes like I got it, I can do it. You don't have to
yeah.
do it. But let dad do it and let dad be an assistant at that moment to you so that you can relax, and breathe
Mm.
and be able to minimize going through postpartum depression.
Wow, wow. I know I need to get a copy of the book because I don't mind changing the diaper, but the swaddling piece, I'm three
It's so
boys in, and
easy.
I still don't. I never learned it. So,
Mhm.
in case the wife has another one, I don't know. But
Well, well, what we've done is, there's a lot of swaddling techniques, but over the course of 9 years, I started creating my own way of swaddling. And so the
hmm
very first thing what I do when I go into the home is I teach dad how to swaddle because I know it's important for him. And when dad gets it, we high five. Mom is excited. And mom eventually picks it up because she's more with dad than I'm in the house. You know what I mean? And so I try to get him involved with the swaddle. So I just in the book I show the technique of how I do the swaddling. It's a very easy way. A lot of the ways were very difficult, and this is what the dads were saying. So I
yeah,
created my
yeah.
own swaddle technique for dads to do it as well.
Wow, wow. Dad, listen, you may need to buy. No, you don't. May need. You got to get the book because you got to learn just as much and be that aid and that assistant to your woman because you don't want her getting so mad that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
please pick up a copy of this book, Ask a Doula. You can pick it up on the website beginning tomorrow, I believe. AskAdoulaNow.com. Pick up this book, read through it, and equip yourself with knowing more about this process and how you can be a very beneficial aid when you're needed the most. All right? All right. Listen, Tanisha, I got one more thing I got to ask you. I was doing some research earlier today, and in my research, when talking about doulas, I realized that most African Americans, if I can
Mm.
say it like this, most black folks, we don't subscribe to this concept, right?
Yeah.
That's what other groups do. You know, why do you think we don't feel the need? Part A and part B. Why do you feel, perhaps, or do you feel that we have a need for a doula just like other groups and nationalities of people?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's really a deep topic or discussion, and I think we'll be here all night. Okay, if I had to really go deep in it, but let me just kind of shorten this thing a little bit. I think
Sure.
it's a lack. I used to say so much that it's a lack of education, but I think also in our community, of African American community, and I don't want to downplay it because I love my
Sure.
black people, but
Sure.
I think what it is that it's a financial issue, and if
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
when it's a financial issue that they can't afford the services, then they tend to not research the services or know that it's even available for them because they're already their mindset is already shut down by the fact that they got to pay somebody almost $200 a night to come to their home to help them, and
Okay.
they don't sometimes they don't understand the concept. And I don't want to say this because I don't want to this is a thin line. And so
Sure.
and it's almost like not only is it financial, but it's a lack of education with it because our community, as far as African American community, we get help a lot from mama now,
Mm-hmm.
auntie now. You know what I'm saying? You know, the family like that. That's how we do. Mom come for 2 weeks, then his mama come for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and help us with the baby. But they're not doulas. They're grandparents. So they're gonna be a grandparent. They're gonna hold the baby all night. They're not gonna train the baby to sleep through the night so that the mommy can get as much rest as she needs. They're not going to, and they'll feed it like they'll feed the baby like they done raised the child. So when a doula comes in, she's totally disconnected as far as emotionally from the family, so she can give the family an added amount of information so that person can be successful in the next 6 weeks. But in our community, I think it's a lack of understanding. And I think if we continue to help our community about what a birth doula is, an
Mm-hmm.
antepartum doula, or
Mm-hmm.
a postpartum doula, and the need of it, then I think they should create some type of like saving their money. Like they say, every month I'll probably put $200 a month aside, use it as an income or a part of their income, and save that part so that when it's time for them to deliver, they can
Mm-hmm.
pay the service, even if it's just 2 days a week, 2 days out of the week, or
Sure.
one night out of the week. They'll be grateful for the any help that they can get overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. I often say here on Long Talk, no matter what the challenge is, start small, right? Because trying to look at it from an overall perspective can be daunting and challenging and cause you to give up immediately. But like you said, if it's only one night or twice a week or wherever you can start, because
Well,
go ahead. I'm
I'm,
sorry.
I'm no, you're fine. I was gonna say this. I think even if they hired a doula for the first 2 weeks, because that's the most important part. Mom is still healing, although the doctor give her 6 weeks to 8 weeks, but she's still healing. She's still sore, and if she can at least have someone the first 2 weeks to 3 weeks, then it will really help her out a great deal because she's going to be tired. People don't realize your body is tired when you deliver a baby, and trying to get used to having this baby outside of your womb is a lot. It's just a lot. It takes a toll on mom, and that's why she ended up going through postpartum. It takes a toll on her. So that's the purpose of creating the book. Gina and myself created this book to be able to help mommies to maneuver through this moment, even if they can't provide, or even if they can't pay the services or doula services. They'll be able to at least read the book and get enough information to be able to do this on their own if they need to.
Great, great. Friends, again, I'm going to make a very special plea and ask you if you know a woman who just had a baby, is about to have a baby, and she doesn't have all of the knowledge, or maybe she thinks she knows everything, no matter which end you swing the pendulum. I think that this wonderful publication will be a great resource to aid and assist women and be there for them when they need it most. And not only just for them, hear me, but as we heard in tonight's conversation, it can be a great resource for all family members because it will help relieve the stress, develop the discipline that's necessary, and many other wonderful attributes will come when it is that we understand the role and we are comfortable with being able to accept the role of a doula in our family life. Is that okay? All right. Well, Tenisha, any closing words that you have for our audience on this evening?
Yes. First of all, I want to say I really wanted to give a shout out to my co-author, Miss Jean Turner, for helping me, develop this book. And also, I wanted to talk to the moms out there. I don't want you to be scared because I know this could be a scary moment as well as a happy moment. But also get the book because it'll help with your knowledge and understanding of, when you bring your baby home, what to expect. We list so many different things in there, as well as give recipes to start with a healthy diet, especially when breastfeeding. And also just some nuggets in there about when to breastfeed and how to, and, during the COVID-19. And we want you guys to be very successful. So we've set you up with the Ask a Doula book. You could definitely go on our website at www.axadoulanow.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where we help you to walk through the process of being a new mommy.
Thank you, Tenisha. Thank you so very much. And again, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and educate and also be just a resource to so many. I'm going to ask everybody, if you will, follow Tenisha at Tenisha Speaks Now. You can find her on all social media platforms at Tenisha Speaks Now. And I'm sure you are a willing resource to help moms out there as much as you can.
Yes. We are located in Atlanta, Georgia, and also Charlotte, North Carolina.
Atlanta and Charlotte. Okay, in two different markets. Wonderful,
yes.
Wonderful. So appreciative for your expansion. All right. Again, Tenisha, thank you so much for sharing with us on this evening.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem. Take care.
All right.
Friends, tonight we are so grateful for what we've heard. If we were at church, we'd say what our eyes have seen and our ears have heard, because this has been a wonderful resource for us on this evening to hear about the wonderful resources that doulas provide to families during the childbirth time and thereafter during postpartum and other times. So tonight, perhaps this doesn't have a direct effect upon you, but you can share this information. So please make sure that you tell somebody about this, what you've seen here tonight. As always, I say, please continue to follow us here at Long Talk on all the social media platforms. Stay connected, stay engaged, and continue to be a part of the wonderful conversation. Listen, enjoy your weekend. Get out, enjoy the wonderful weather wherever you're located. Call some family, call some friends, and just have a great time this weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday for another edition of Long Talk.
Follow us on Facebook at Dante A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Dante Long. Follow us on YouTube at Dante A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.